Hello everyone, let's take a look at what I got from the Herbivorous Butcher shop. Got some ribeye steak, deli turkey, Korean ribs, capicola, which is like a ham, some ground beef, mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, and a garlic pepper Havarti cheese. And last but not, I got this pack. This is an Easter pack from the Herbivorous Butcher. It was like $95 and it comes with some bacon, a ham, beef-free honey. This is like a cheese spread to go with the summer sausage that they included. And I've got some, just like a creamy cheese that's going to be used to make some stuff. They have a recipe for making some great scalloped potatoes that will use the bacon and that white cheese that's very creamy. And they also have a recipe for a basting for the ham using the beef-free honey. So it's going to be great. I'll show you different ways I use all this stuff that I bought, and stick around and see if I make something the way you'd like.
Hey everyone, well, let's start out with the first thing I made with this haul I got. Today I'm making a sandwich. Unfortunately, I find out that I made a lot of sandwiches during this week because I was kind of busy, and so these were the easiest thing for me to make. Here I'm slicing some American cheese using capicola and deli turkey, and we'll just put it on some bread here. This bread is vegan, no milk or egg products in it. You can see how it slices up. The capicola tastes really a lot like a salty ham. The deli turkey doesn't really taste like turkey, but it tastes really good. It's not like an unknown taste. It tastes great, and we got some nice fresh tomatoes on there too. And you'll see, you can cut it if I sharpen the knives. And there we have it. Poor framing for me. Here's the beginning of using the thing of ground beef, and I'm going to make rice Oriental. As you see, I've already made it there. I forgot I was doing this filming. Basically rice, ground beef, some celery, soy sauce, a few different other flavors. I use a recipe that's for a Hamburger Helper Rice Oriental type copy that's non-vegan recipe, but I just replaced the stuff with vegan things. Here we're making a ribeye steak. This will give you a look at what these foods look like inside their packaging. I've shown them before, just the packages, but I thought it'd be nice to show a little video of what it looks like inside the packaging. And here's what they look like. Here's the steak. It's nice and tender, which is really nice. And you can put a little salt, a little pepper on that, wrap it up in that aluminum foil, and I'll throw it in the oven with some baked potatoes that are already going. It's amazing how you can take what's essentially just, a wheat protein and turn it into something that has the kind of texture where it's not like musculature or anything like that, like would have been in animal products, but it has a great texture that doesn't make you feel like you're eating mush. And it tastes great. I mean, they really put the ingredients together real well at the Herbivorous Butcher shop. And then I've got some gravy that's left over from the Gardein products. Their Gardein turkey cutlets. I have a sister-in-law that likes the turkey cutlets to eat them because they don't have, they're essentially healthy, but she doesn't like the gravy, so we get the gravy from her. And here we're going back to the old standby, a sandwich. Always exciting. Again, the turkey is really good, really flavorful. It's not really replacing what turkey tastes like, but it has a great texture, great flavor. And the capicola is probably the closest to tasting like a real deli food. It's got a little marbling in it from, what you might think of as fat, but it's just something a little bit more flavorful. And it's got a little bit of salty ham tasting. Here again, American cheese. You can slice the cheese that you get from the butcher shop pretty well. It's a little bit softer than normal cheese, but it works well. Great flavor as well. And it will melt, which is really cool. Here you can see I'm using a butter knife. Cuts as well as the actual knife that's supposed to be sharp. So I have my sandwich with baked potato and some more gravy. And then I had another sandwich. You can see a trend here, very busy. And then the next one, I actually got a sandwich from the Herbivorous Butcher shop. They're close to where I work, and so I drove over there or rode a bike over there and picked one up and had it there at work while I was working. And then my wife and I went to Reverie, and that's a TLT. It's like a BLT, but with tempeh for the bacon, a local plant-based restaurant here in Minneapolis. Great stuff. I love their the flavor combinations that these people put together is just astounding. Here we had a pop-up from Eureka Compass Vegan Foods where they were selling croissants that they made. And so here's some croissants with some ham and cheese on them that I heated up in the microwave and made like breakfast sandwiches with them. And they were very good. It was great seeing some vegan croissants. And here I'm starting to use the ham and scalloped potatoes. This is getting ready with sauteing some onions and the bacon that they gave us, a hickory smoked bacon. And here's the potatoes getting mixed in with almond milk and then a white cheddar cheese sauce that they delivered in that kit. Then here's the beef-free honey, getting that ready for the glaze on the ham. Here's the scalloped potatoes boiling away in the on the stovetop, basically reducing it down and getting ready to, it's basically making the potato soft, and then we'll be throwing it in the oven. And here's the result. You can see there's the ham, the scalloped potatoes on the other side, putting the final glaze on it. I did glaze it before it went in. Here's the final glaze. And it was very tasty, very tasty. So there's final scalloped potatoes with bacon, and those potatoes were great. My wife wants me to figure out how they made that stuff so I can make some potatoes like that. I said, well, it's going to take some practice. They put all the ingredients on the labels, but you got to figure out what the proportions are of the ingredients. So it's going to take some testing to get that white cheddar sauce that they had that I think is kind of key to making that really pop. Here I'm slicing the ham. And they're plating up a simple plate. Simple but not pretty, but it's my plate. Some ham and scalloped potatoes. Good old Easter dinner. Oh, and I had a leftover croissant, so I threw it in there as well. Easter dinner, but it wasn't Easter. Now here I'm going to make a tofu scramble. So I'm using their breakfast sausage, and I cut this up into pieces. And I use a recipe for the tofu scramble from the Vegan Zombie. It was their tofu scramble and blueberry pancakes recipe. And I use that recipe because it's really easy to follow and it's very tasty. And then what I'll do is if I have some proteins sitting in the house, I'll chop that up and throw it in there with it. So it's not that I need to add any more protein to the tofu or anything like that. It's just kind of nice to have something more. So we just dice it up. Throw it in the pan, let it warm up a little bit with the other things, and voila, we have our tofu scramble. I made some hash browns with that one as well. Very tasty stuff. Highly recommended recipe from the Vegan Zombie. Now, of course, we've got to have our Korean ribs, and so there's the kind of the ingredients so you get an idea of what's in them. basically sitting there. They're already kind of pre-cooked from the butcher shop, and then they have kind of a sesame flavor on them. So you just kind of heat them up basically. I got a nice thing of fresh rice that I made, and so I'm having rice and ribs, and see how it cuts. And it's a little bit denser than regular meat in some cases, but it's still a great feel when you eat. And yes, I'm still eating raw food. You see all this cooked food. I do eat mostly raw breakfasts and lunches. And how I do that is I make a smoothie at home in the morning. I bring it to work in those containers. Then I throw it in the refrigerator at work. And then at lunchtime, I will actually eat my breakfast. I'll probably be changing up my diet a little bit here in the next few weeks, but that's the main way I do it. And there you can see I'm eating it. Links for all the stuff will be in the description below. Any of the restaurants that I visited, any of the Instagram sites for places that I commented on. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Giving a like if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. And we'll see you on my next video. Bye.